Nicole, what's up?
Hey, Eric, how are you?
I am awesome. I'm so amped today. We have a big show. This is our last show of the season.
Last show of the season, it crept up on us. All these, how many episodes now? 15?
437.
721?
Something like, felt like
Yeah,
it.
sometimes. Especially for our producer, it probably felt that way, right? Trying to
Uh,
wrangle us all the time.
yes, our birthday boy producer. Happy birthday, producer.
Happy birthday.
No, episode 18, 19.
19.
We should know
Oh,
this.
20. No, 20? Ooh, that's a good number to end on. That's great. 20 episodes. We've done this 20 times. Can you believe it, Eric? I can't believe
Don't
it.
say it like that. I mean, there's gonna be an episode 21,
Yes.
right?
Our
Okay.
21st birthday, but it will be like in the summer sometime when we relaunch,
Yes, yes, we're
right?
gonna take a little break. But this has been absolutely spectacular working with you like this, Nicole. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? I think we're going to get into it, but when we do and we get back, we're going to talk about how else we work together.
Holy smokes! Yes, did we not do a deal this week?
We
Did we
did.
work together on a deal, Nicole?
Yes, it's amazing. It was like perfect. It was the timed perfectly for our 20th episode.
Yes, yes, and I totally took advantage of you with that offer.
I know
Yes,
you did it. No, no, I made you sweat for like 2 days.
absolutely horrible. You are the most. Yeah, we'll talk about it next season. See, we have a perfect hook to carry us over for a season, folks. I'm going to tell you how this woman on the other end of this call just manipulated me and
No,
had me
it was
sweating.
good.
Oh,
We
it was
did, you know what we did, Eric? We worked in the best interest of our clients, which is what we're supposed to do, both of us equally and fairly. So,
yeah. If I'm being absolutely honest with myself, I worked a lot harder than you did on this.
you mean when I was like at my daughter's lacrosse game, like picking up the phone and be like, I'm so sorry, Eric. They're at the
Oh,
park playing with
yeah.
their kid. I'll have to get back to you.
Yes. And I was like, are you kidding me? I hang up the phone and I'm like, is she really doing this right now? No, it was great. It was absolutely awesome. But we could talk about this for hours, but we can't.
No,
We have a very special show today, right?
absolutely. One of our
We
most special shows. The best way to end this season, I think.
I am so super excited. So let's just do our intro. How about this? Welcome everybody to the Real Agents Podcast, a weekly podcast where our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to talk about life and real estate and everything in between. So if you like your insights and information shaken and not stirred, well, then this is the podcast for you. That's Nicole Dash,
And that is Eric Carrington. And we are
the Real
real
Agent.
agents.
Yes. And 20 episodes down and we finally nailed it.
We
I didn't look
nailed
at
it.
this.
20
What?
episodes. That's it.
Um, so we're
So,
going to take a break, right?
are we taking a break, Mr. Producer, or are we just rolling? I think we're rolling. We're rolling right into it. Okay. So, Eric, what do we have today for this episode that is so special?
We have two of the most incredible people, two of the founders of what we do here. Debbie Doğrul Associates has been around for 35 years, and one of these individuals, I think, was the number one employee.
First,
Um,
first employee. It was the reason Debbie became a team, was because of this person.
and because of these two people, they're the reason I'm a real estate agent.
Hmm. And me too. I have that same connection. We have some really interesting stories to share, I think. And I can't wait to bring on our two mystery guests. We're doing a drum roll.
Barack and Michelle Obama. No. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jay and Lori DeLisandro. And we're back. Yes. I know.
We're back. And we're back with two amazing people that we want to introduce. We'd like to introduce Jay and Lori D'Alessandro. Jay is one of the managing partners at Debbie Doğrul Associates. And he is, as Eric mentioned, one of the first employees of Debbie, right? Long time. And they are going to introduce themselves and share a little bit about themselves with everyone. Eric.
And real quick, and Lori is the brains behind the entire operation.
Oh, she absolutely is. Yeah. We all know that truth.
Say hello, Jay. Say hello, Lori. Hello.
Hi. Hey guys, great to be on here. And hello from Fabio and Murphy too.
Oh, they're so cute. And they're doing really well. They're not camera shy at all. I think they're used to being on camera from your little updates that you do monthly.
Yes.
They're used to it. They like the bright lights.
Right?
So tell everyone, introduce yourselves formally. Give us a little bit of a background about who you are and why we are so excited to have you.
Well, I don't know why you guys would want us on here, but maybe Fabio and Murphy. But I'm Jay, and I've been a part of Debbie Doğrul Associates for 25 years this year.
Wow.
And I'd say the biggest accomplishment is having this lady, convincing her to marry me.
For Debbie Doğrul Associates, I would not have met Jay. He was my real estate agent.
That's how I meet all my wives.
Alicia's not going to like that one.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Look, I wasn't kidding when I said in the open that was so wonderfully, orchestrated that you guys as a couple are the reason I'm in real estate.
That's right.
Well, it's actually Lori, because I wouldn't have picked you as a real estate agent, but she did.
I got that vibe when we met. Yeah, I got that vibe. and so real quick, I was working as a concierge in kind of high-end suite at the Washington Nationals Park, and you guys were in this suite, and my job was to just make sure everybody inside the suite was having a great time. I had a long, extensive background in Major League Baseball, and when we had moved to the area, I was just looking for something to do, and a friend said, "Hey, we got this position. Do you want to work game day?" I was like, "Yeah, it's better than staying home twiddling my thumbs. Let's do it." And
Well,
you guys
were busy. You were busy with your son at the same time too when he was younger.
Yeah, I mean, we could get into all that, but yes, my wife was active duty military, and I said, I'm going to follow you around the country because I love you and you're saving the country. And yeah, I'll be a stay-at-home dad. So yeah, that's a whole nother part of it that I kind of, part of me wishes I went back to, but we'll talk about that later. No, but then meeting
everything here then. Oh, sorry. You can do everything here in real estate and on TV. You're realizing your dream.
Do you think? Is that really the case?
Minus the sports aspect, because that was a part of your dream.
I still gamble on a regular basis, so that's fine.
It works.
It's legal now.
But no, it was so weird when you said, "Hey, Eric, I think you might really enjoy working with our company." I thought what that meant was, "Hey, let's go give Eric a job." And when I went to the interview, I didn't realize how serious you guys were about all this, and it kind of blew me away. I was scared, I was intimidated, but having you two, both of you, kind of in my corner and kind of rooting me on. And you were there all the time, Jay, and it was absolutely amazing. And I owe it all to you guys. Thank you so much for seeing something in me that I might be good at this and kind of pushing me to do it. So I owe it all to you.
Yeah. We saw your potential.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, that's a skill set. This has been a recurring theme. Lori, I know there are other people on the team that you convinced Jay would be a good fit, and you were 100% right. Like, you are a natural recruiter. And Jay and I have a story as well of how I got launched in. He actually was my husband's English teacher in high school. Was it your first year teaching?
1993. How I remember that year. Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy, small world, that, I feel like, it was meant to be. The path that I went on, the journey I went on, ran into Jay a few different ways, a few different times over the years. He sold my neighbor's home, and just kept running into him, and just it worked out eventually. But yeah, Eric, you were right. When I went for the official interview, it was scary. They want to scare people away. They'll make sure that you know what you're getting into, because this isn't some part-time, I'm going to sell to your friends and family type job. We are full-time professional agents and on a serious team that does serious business, and setting the bar high for everyone around you.
I know, it was really weird. There was a drug test and a compatibility test. I mean, I can study for a drug test.
I didn't do a drug test, Eric.
Test.
There was no drug test for me.
Well, what are you saying?
Certain suspicious characters.
Only the sketchy ones.
So Jay, tell us a little bit about, I love your story about how you met Debbie and how she recruited you into real estate.
Right. So I think there is a common theme, and it is really meeting people and then seeing they can be great potential for the team. And I met Debbie actually because of her husband. I was coaching their son's soccer team, and she saw how I handled working with some high-powered Northern Virginia soccer parents, which are a whole different breed of people. And she's like, if you can handle kind of the pressures and the expectations of Northern Virginia soccer parents, you can certainly handle some of the challenges that come up in real estate. And that's how she convinced me to get my real estate license back in 1998 when I was teaching at that time. And I did both for a while, and I told her I'm not going to quit teaching because I don't know if I'm going to be good at this. So I did both for a little while, and then finally, after about 6 months of figuring it out and realizing how busy real estate life was and how I was enjoying it, is when I made that leap into leaving teaching completely and getting into real estate.
Was there like one transaction or one event, or was there like just a moment where you knew that, all right, I can push the teaching aside and this is what I'm going to focus on?
I'm going to be very transparent with you. It was all about money at that time. Because, I mean, I love teaching and I still love teaching, and I teach real estate now more than, I mean, that's what I do now, or help clients through the transition of a tough time in life. But we all know that teachers are underpaid, and it was a challenge trying to do this and live in Northern Virginia while I was teaching. So when I sold the first couple of houses and realized, wow, this can be a career and it can set up a lifestyle for my family, I was like, I can do this. And I learned to love other things along the way. That was in education and collaboration and really working with other people on the team. As Debbie grew the team and I partnered with her, and I helped other people join the team. And our business partner too, Jin, as he joined, he was somebody that I knew personally who was also a teacher. And we went to the same church together and said, hey, come on over. So that's how it started. And a lot of the agents on our team came from other fields, whereas most real estate teams or brokerages, they're looking to add people who are already licensed. We have a percentage of people who had their licenses, but most people did not have their license before joining us, or they had just gotten their license and then joined the team.
And so when you joined, you were agent number one, right? And at that time you were focusing on buyers and Debbie was focusing on listings, right? As I recall, right?
Yes.
And so then it's grown and it's grown. And now we're up to how many agents? Roughly?
So we have 32 agents on the team at this point and a staff of 14 people who support those agents and our clients.
And at some point along the way, you and Jen took on the transition of the team, correct? And so what was that decision like for you? I mean, that's a huge, going from teacher to agent to then business partner and really innovator in the business, because that's what you guys are. You guys are innovators in the way you're growing the team and leading us. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think we were naive in a little bit way, but also we're excited. And I think Lori said, "Are you crazy?"
A little bit. I said that.
I want to ask Lori, because Lori, I do think you have a big part of what happens on our team, and it is really neat because I think you did recruit me. The first conversation I had about real estate was with you, not with Jay, and and I think you've had those conversations with other teammates as well. How do you do it? I mean, what do you see in people? What makes you, what flips that switch in your head that makes you think this person could be a good real estate agent?
Yeah. So with you, it was the natural ability to communicate with other people and make that connection with other people. And
You can see who in this house was.
Who's the favorite?
Yeah. He's like trying to get away from me.
He wants no part of you.
Yeah.
But I saw that in you, and you were able to just, in a room full of people, you're work in the room, seeing who needs what, making sure everybody's comfortable, and with other team members too, that it's just that ability to, like with Nathan, like he walked up, I said hi, he started a conversation. And that's what you're looking for, that energy, that hey, I don't mind talking to a stranger. I can talk about anything. And that's a really important trait for a real estate agent to have. And, and Nicole, we saw it too with her business that she had, and she was able just to be able to connect with lots of different people, to solve conflicts. That's another thing. So not that there's ever any conflicts in real estate, but
Never.
great to have.
No,
Well,
and I guess it is interesting. You saw that, I was a good communicator, and now what did you see in Jay that not only made him a good real estate agent to sell your house for you, but you chose to marry him as well? I mean, he must have went the extra mile, I'm assuming.
I paid for commission, like, so something.
Did he have to return the commission?
Yeah, every once in a while I tell him I want my commission back. So yeah,
You're still paying.
I gave her dogs.
he gave me
I gave her dogs.
And I love your dogs. Tell us about your dogs, because they're both rescues, right?
So Lori texted me last night,
yeah.
and she says, "I thought of a new word. It's called packadoodles." So that gives me permission to get more doodles. Since we already adopted 2 of them, rescued 2 of them.
Not quite a pack.
We can get a packadoodle. So
Yes.
that's more than how many are in a pack?
Yeah, you need at least 3 to make
At least one more. I'm team Lori all the way on this one. You need one more.
Nicole, remember my
Fabio.
what was it? It was it's not the strength of the doodle. Wait.
Right,
The strength of the pack is the doodle, and the strength of the doodle is the pack.
That's right.
I don't know.
I like that. I'm gonna get that engraved on something.
And
So we
your
actually
license plate,
started-
you can change it to Packadoodle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
We're gonna trademark that name.
But they are both local rescues, and so shout out to the Fauquier County Animal Shelter, Humane Society, whatever.
Awesome.
Yep. And then Poodles and Doodles Rescue Collective right here, Murphy, Maryland. Yep. So yes.
So Murphy is the brunette, named after
We
who?
inherited that name.
He's
Oh,
Amish.
you inherited
Yes.
Murphy.
And Fabio's previous name was
Doodle
Bob. And I'm like, I am not
no.
going to call him Doodle Bob. And Fabio was out in the paddock at the Fakir shelter, and he had long hair, and he comes running across the paddock, and he has this beautiful blonde mane flowing, you know,
Look like Fabio.
that's Fabio. So
That's
Fabio is 12 years old now, and Murphy is just getting ready to turn 4 years old.
And Murphy's come such a long way, because when you
has.
first
Very
got
cool.
Murphy, he was so scared. He would not be on camera. Believe
Uh-uh.
me.
Yeah, he would not be a good real estate agent.
You know what they say though, the more you live, the longer you live with your dogs, the more you start to look like them. And you guys are kind of resembling the dogs there, just a little bit.
Uh-oh. One each.
A little bit. Lori, please, I know that you are, now correct me if I'm wrong. You are working on your doctorate. Is that right?
Yes, so I will start in August working on my PhD. Yes, my doctorate. And
Please tell our 9 listeners and viewers what you're getting your PhD in, please.
Now her parents will listen, so you'll have 11.
11. Oh, we almost doubled it.
yes, it'll be counseling and psychological studies with a concentration in trauma. I will be a traumatologist specializing in therapy. Yes.
That's
So she
great.
can really help all of our agents and our buyers who are going through a little bit of trauma right now.
Not to belittle trauma, but yes, we could absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of real estate PTSD out there.
Yes.
There's a
That's
lot
great.
of levels of trauma.
Yeah,
Yes.
lots of levels. Well, and I mean, I really respect, because Lori, at one point, she's like, I'm going to go get my master's. And she went and she started and she worked hard. And then she started doing all of her training and working with patients. And I feel like I've just watched it like from the sidelines and just been in awe of her progress and her journey. And now you're taking it to the next level, and we're selling houses. So I'm very happy for you.
She has a 3.9 GPA or something.
898, yeah.
9.8, that one professor who
Gave me
gave
an A minus.
A-.
Wow.
I will not name his name.
Call him out. Call him out on this.
Do it. No.
Professor Poo Poo Face. Yes,
That'd
let's
be
call him out. Jay, I'm super jealous of your ability to get your face and your info out there. You are diligent and you do so much content. And part of that content is you've roped your lovely wife into being on some of your little bits out there. Lori, how is that? And do you enjoy doing it? And what did he have to promise you to get you to be a part of it?
Yeah, he has to promise me another dog sometimes. There's some bribery going on, but I think sometimes it's obvious that I am not happy about the situation. Like, because he'll be holding his phone and he'll be like, I'm recording this. And I'm like, I look like crap right now. Like, do not catch me on the fly to do this. When we are prepared, it's great. Yes.
You should see what he does on Tuesdays to us. Every Tuesday we have our team meetings, and before he'll be like waiting. It's like he's hiding, and then if someone comes up this area, she's like, come on over here, let's take a video. And then like on the street, like question with the camera, and I don't say no, but
He questioned, like, tell me your thoughts on world peace, and and you're like, what? I need a second.
Dave, well, so what? I've known you now for 10 years, and for the first 7 of those years, you didn't even know how to use your telephone. So what flipped? Why are you just the internet guru now?
That's why I still have an Android.
Exactly. You
No,
still have
a coach challenged me, when we were going through this whole brand rebranding, and we had Debbie as the team founder and leader at that point, and then when that transition took place, we were still kind of figuring out our identity, so we could still have the brand of Team DDA, Debbie Doğrul Associates, but then, out in front, we wanted to really make sure that our agents were out there. I was out there to be able to promote what we do, how we're part of the community, how we have the nonprofit of DDA Love, how we're selling houses and involved in the community. And video is the easiest way to do that. People watch videos with puppies.
Well,
Absolutely.
and there was someone out there in the very beginning, and I think this is the catalyst that really changed a lot for Jay, that made the point. A lot of people will say, I'm really nervous. I don't like being on camera. I'm really nervous about it. I don't like talking on camera. And that person said, everybody knows what you look like anyway. Everybody knows what your voice sounds like anyway. Just do it. Like, stop, get over yourself, drop the ego, and just do it. And that made a big difference.
Yep.
and you're killing it.
Yeah, you're doing great. And I'll say, the one thing I've been impressed with is that, you have always been very transparent and vulnerable with the team in, your goals and your mission on what you hope for the future. And also, what's been difficult. So I don't know if you want to share a little bit with us, any of your goals or vision or what has been difficult, in this moment with our 11 listeners.
Wow, get serious, Nicole. Asking the
Yeah.
hard, biting questions. He's aiming for one of those awards, those podcast awards. I know.
You know what? This is where my journalism background comes into handy here, right? Eric, you and I, it had to be helpful sometime in our life.
Yes.
Well, I think, one of the things that we've always known is that the community has been really great with us. And we see communities in a couple of different ways, which is the real estate community around us of, clients that we've helped, but we're also part of the community in terms of being involved with different community organizations or, a certain neighborhood pool or certain need for a family that just has something come up. And we love being a part of it, but also we're part of the community of people at Team DDA. So that's been just like a big vision for us in terms of watching some younger people, or for you two, this is a multiple careers later in terms of making that transition and what it means for your family and what it's done in terms of changing, your lives. So I just realized both of you bought houses with swimming pools. Anyway, little tangent, that's my ADD, but that's one byproduct of it. But I think that it's been really neat to watch a couple of agents recently buy their first homes.
Yeah.
So, we have a grant for some of our newer agents who've been on the team. And if they reach certain benchmarks, we give them a grant to help them out in terms of, purchasing their first home. I've watched some agents on the team renovate and invest and flip in real estate or keep them for long-term rentals. And all those things really go towards also helping the vision of someone who was prior to us, and which was Debbie. And she was such a great team leader in terms of being generous with the community. So we carried that on. And I know you've been on the board with DDA Love and how they've helped different organizations in the community. And we're getting ready to also do a big move in terms of a humanitarian cause that we're going to be choosing soon as well, too, which we're excited about, and supporting financially a group that we're all voting on who that is, that are part of it, too. So, some team leaders, and like myself, look at kind of growing the team organically in a way. Some have big goals of having 100 agents. We picked some numbers to kind of grow, but that isn't our goal to get to hundreds of agents. It is really to kind of grow bit by bit, support the agents in there, and then support the community surrounding it as well, too. So it's a long way of answering community within the team, community outside the team in the area as well.
You know what's the biggest
It's
challenge?
a lot of
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
That's the goal, obviously. But hearing your answer, I'm just curious from your perspective, from the perspective at the top of the hill, what's the biggest challenge of keeping this team together?
Well, I don't think every
Or
real
building a
Yeah.
successful team. What's the biggest challenge?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to our vision day, remember we were talking about in this changing real estate market, things were going to be hard. And there's always hard things in life. And we watched the one speaker just talk about how we were going to do hard better. It doesn't get easier, you just do it better, and thus you get better at it. And that is solving the small day-to-day problems that come up in the real estate part of it, you know, which is a lot of communication, but also just personal challenges too, because when you're not getting a check every 2 weeks, or when I was a Fairfax County school teacher, we got paid once a month. And I still have one of my last pay stubs hanging up on my wall. And I've told you guys this story of just like what you get after you pay taxes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so, you know, doing those hard things, but just getting better at it. And then if you get better at it, you can help more people, not only here at Team DDA, but in the community. And then you can even go broader, like we're talking about with the humanitarian project. So big goals, doing things that are hard better.
And one thing that I know outside of just being a leader within, you know, our team and growing our team and supporting our community, you are also very involved in our brokerage and in the local area, the Capital Growth Pioneers, right? That's that local area of EXP agents. And you're a leader there too, and you're really kind of setting a path forward for a lot of different other team leads, right? I mean, you're very good at sharing your knowledge and what you've learned along the way, and kind of being that teacher to others.
Yeah, you know, I'd say that Capital Growth Pioneers, there's some great team leaders in there, and I think of myself more as the cheerleader. There are some good leaders in there, and I love just being a cheerleader because I don't feel a huge sense of responsibility in that group as much as just, hey, let's do this together. And, you know, there are people at different chapters in their business, whether they're solo agents, smaller teams, you know, growing teams, or teams that decide, hey, I don't want to be a team. Let me go back to the simple things of being a solo agent because they think that's simpler. But I like to just be a cheerleader and invest in the people that are in the business. So that's what Capital Growth Pioneers within EXP has been. And that whole group is really the seed of our bigger group called Fast Forward Movement, which is across the country. So West Coast down south. And they're super generous. So they've created this culture where people are just generous, whether it's about giving to the community or to each other and helping each other grow. And that's been kind of a breath of fresh air within that group in terms of being a support to a lot of the people around there. So giving has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, and I want Lori to put her psychologist hat on for this one. What was it like dealing with Jay when he was making these big decisions, deciding to take these big swings, when it was, you know, we're gonna purchase this team, Jen and I are going to make all these huge changes? What was he going through, and how are you handling it when he was going through it?
You want me to leave the room so you can actually tell the truth of sausage making?
No, actually, Jay is a pretty strong decision maker. Like when he knows he wants something, he goes and gets it. And this was kind of a no-brainer for Jay. He knew he wanted to, you know, take the lead with the business. Which, side note, very interesting. I feel like Jay was never like a huge leader before. He was kind of like, let me just do my sales stuff, and nobody put any pressure on me to have actual responsibility to go to meetings and everything. And then he was all in, though, when it was time to make a decision about buying the company and taking leadership role. And I had always told him, this is a I told you so moment. He is a natural teacher and leader, and this was like his moment to be able to, use that talent and skill that he has. So when he did take over the company, he was stressed. There was a lot of decisions. There was a lot of, how are we going to do this? I don't know, but let's just do it. And but the key is he's able to help other people, and he's able to, I think his underlying philosophy is really, you can't go wrong if you're helping other people reach their goals. And that, I think, is really what's moving things forward today, what started moving things forward. And, a lot of people will have the philosophy of, well, if I tell everybody how I do things, then they're going to be able to compete with us, or they're going to compete with me. And, Jay's philosophy is more of, it's just not possible to give too much. Like, there's enough for everybody. Everybody can benefit. Everybody can know the same information. Everybody's going to apply it differently. So that's
Sometimes better.
exactly. You can teach somebody how to fish and they kick your butt. So
Well, and that's one thing I always respected about Jay, and that I feel like was something that was very true to how I feel as well, is just that whole abundance mindset. Like, instead of a scarcity mindset, it's like, no, just because someone else is doing well doesn't mean they're taking away from me. Right? Like, I'm going to be abundant in my world, and they can be abundant in their world, and one doesn't have to take away from the other. And so I appreciate that, that I have, a leader that has a similar mindset to me. And
I agree with you, Nicole. That's exactly what I took from this team through that whole interview process was, I realized that real estate is it's a competitive type of business, but our team dynamic is all about pulling on the same side of the rope. Everyone's there to support. And that comes from the top. That came from during my interviews with Debbie, with Jen, and with Jay. And you can just tell that this was a group that was about helping people be successful, not just, we need to pad our numbers and we think you're going to help our numbers. And it, just to transition, I also think that the reason you, Jay, and Jen are so successful at being good leaders is your teaching background. You really do teach everyone how to do this, and it's not just the teaching part of it, it's the listening part of it, it's the message part of it, and being able to communicate how to do things. And I think that's what separates us from a lot of these other teams out there that come and go, that can't retain. I mean, every team struggles with retaining agents, but I think we do really well because you and Jen and the other powers that be really understand how to get your message across. And I really appreciate that. I
have to give shout out to the right people in the right seats, right, Nicole? We've been learning about that from our coach, and Jen and I are learning through this process too, and certainly has not been perfect, but we continue to learn. And then one of the skills that I feel like I focus on is that we have a lot of talent on the team, and spreading that leadership, which has happened over the last year and a half, has been amazing for us because there's so much talent. And you can see, because Jen and I aren't going to teach 32, 33 agents and run all that. But you got Laura in the whole COO role, who's running all the back end and everything. And then you got the sales managers, you got you all who are part of the leadership council. and people can come to you, and that you guys are amazing at sharing and teaching, and that people feel comfortable, coming to you all. Because I've never, I joined Debbie Doğrul Associates, never left, so I don't know how it's run on other teams. And this is a contact sport where it's challenging, and if you have people who are sharing ideas, thoughts, and helping each other out, and people feel who are newer can come to some of the agents who've been doing this longer and ask questions and get good answers, there is that sharing mentality that's worked on our team over the years. And that started with Debbie a long time ago.
So what would you say to someone who is thinking about becoming a realtor, someone who's never done it before, whether they're young or they're in their later part of their careers, like Eric and I, like later on, a few careers later, what would you say to them is your recommendation to be successful? And Lori, what would you say to their partner as they get ready to go?
Oh, please. Can I get Felicia on the phone for this one?
Well, I think the first thing is, don't get into it because of flexibility, because there's no flexibility in the earlier part of your career. Now, later on, when you've invested a lot of time and learning and grown the business and you leverage, yes, you can get some flexibility. But at the beginning, some people get into this thing, oh, I don't want to do the, 9 to 5 or whatever, and I want a flexible job. That is the wrong mentality kind of getting into it. And I have only known how to do it on a team. So I'm going to be an advocate for the team because, we've talked to other people, and sometimes the longevity of people in this career is 1 year to maybe 3 years. The statistics are within 3 years, 80% of the people get out of the business. Yeah. On our team, it is much longer. I mean, we have people in here who've been decade plus on our team. So I think the team works. And when you look at some of the quality teams across the country, people do stay a long time. Now, they may go into different roles on the team, but they are, in the same field. And I think that that's the versatility and the skill sets that a team gives. And then, be open to learning, because it's changing all the time. The last 3 years, the last 12 months in this business, it's changed a lot. So you've got to be nimble and be open to how things are going to change, and you can't get set in your ways.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to hear Lori's answer to this, because I am going to record this so my wife can go.
Already recorded, Eric. This
Damn
is
it!
a podcast.
Oh.
Well, I just had a thought too. In the early days, I did follow-up phone calls for Jay, and I would call other agents to get feedback on, do you remember that? Yeah.
No.
I did. Yeah. And yeah.
Okay.
Hello. But so my advice would be, be supportive, obviously, just like you would always be supportive of your spouse. But as with any sales job, it takes a while to get some momentum going, and there's going to be hard months, and there's going to be months where it feels like you barely had to do anything and clients are just getting dropped in your lap. But stay in the game. If you stay in the game, people know your name, they're familiar with you, they know your reputation. And, my philosophy is, if you outlast them all, you'll be the last agent standing. And so that you're the only person they could call anyway, but
That's true. That's true.
Through attrition. Yes, I love it. Yes.
Right.
Well, I just want to add something to what Lori said, because I was thinking of this is, you have to have everybody in your inner circle, your family or partner or whatever, all in, because this is a whole family business. Because your career, your hours, and all those things, real estate is a lifestyle. Yeah. So I know that I was talking to a solo agent who has this big goal, So I thought this was brilliant, but he has the goal on the refrigerator for the whole family to see. And so when he is taking that time away to go do something with work, they all look at that goal. And it's a big goal for the whole family. And if he achieves what he wants to do, they get to do that. And I love that because now his kid will say, Dad, don't you have to go make some phone calls?
Yeah.
Which I love because the kid's all in on it too.
Yeah,
That's
because
awesome.
I want to point out as a spouse, like there are a lot of dinners, even dinners at restaurants where Jay's taking the call. I got to go take this call. And it's part of the deal. That's what you're buying into when you're an agent. You cannot literally, you cannot say, I will call that person back in 10 minutes. They'll move on to the next house or, you know.
Like Nicole did with your deal, Eric, right?
That's right.
She's at the-
I'm pushing the baby stroller around the track in a lacrosse game on the phone with Eric. It's called multitasking. I'm watching my daughter like this, pushing.
Yeah, and you also went to a lacrosse game in the rain while I was talking to you on the
I
phone.
did. That was my son. This was my daughter's game, and then my son's game. It was in the rain.
Good Lord. No, I just to bring it all the way back around because we are getting up on time here. I really want to thank both you and Jay and Lori for being a part of this podcast, for being a part of my experience in real estate. I really do, and I don't mean to minimize it when I say you're the reason I'm in real estate, because you are. If it wasn't for that chance encounter of meeting you guys at the ballpark, I wouldn't be doing this right now. So I really do owe all of this to you, and a personal thank you. And yeah, there is a little bit in the will, not much. You just want to be there for the reading. But yeah, I do owe a lot to you, and I thank you. Thank you very much.
They could just come over to the pool. That's it. Just come to the
That's
pool.
what I left.
Then it's
I
even.
left you.
Then it's even.
Yeah. I left you the shallow end of the pool.
Right.
That's what.
Put a little.
I want
plaque.
the Lou Gehrig signed baseball.
No, you don't
No.
get.
No, thank you so much. I was so happy to see that it was you because this was a surprise for Eric and I too. You know, who was going to be our guest today. And so I was hoping it was going to be you. And I'm very excited. I got Jay and Lori and Murphy and Fabio here today to share your wisdom and advice and for everyone, because this is, going to be our break. Right, Eric?
A break.
Yeah.
We're taking a break. Hey, can I ask everybody to do me a favor before we go to break, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
All 11 people.
like
All 11. Actually, I think it's 12 now. But anyway,
Well.
can we sing happy birthday to our producer?
Oh,
A
yes.
1, a 2, a 3. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you. Are we really doing this?
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
dear
dear Eli.
producer.
Mr. Producer. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
The timing's all off because our mics are going in and out and it's all, but it's good. We got it. Yay.
That
You
just
should have
makes
done
it
a
better.
solo, Eric, in the style of Marilyn Monroe.
We got dinner tonight. I'll do that there. Thank you guys for being a part of our podcast. Thank you for being a part of our final episode of the season. What a way to go out, Nicole. Didn't we? We killed it. I think we killed it.
We got better and better, and this is the best one. So very
Well,
excited.
Murphy said he's going to share this podcast in his doodle group, so maybe we'll get a
Yay!
couple of dogs listening to it as well.
Yeah.
And tell them
Double
to
and
like
double.
and subscribe. Tell your friends.
Yes. It's
Like-
going on their Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Fabio's
have
got
an
his own
Instagram?
Instagram page.
Give us 5 woofs. I think that's what the dogs do. 5 woofs.
All right.
So be sure to come back next season for more Agents of Fun
Agents of Change
and Real Agents.
of Real
Real
Estate.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you next spring.